Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Eldrazi ramp on the draw for game one. I was initially thinking about playing Tron today, but as I continue to monitor the meta, I'm thinking more and more that I am going to be playing E-Ramp. That sounds weird. I kind of thinking we go Emrakul. Yeah, we'll go Emrakul. Commercial District, Surveil, Laptop, and Pass. Because then we can tuck Devour or Rumble. We draw into a green source, we can green source Rumble. Green source Sprawl Rumble, rather. Try and ramp into Emrakul on turn 3 if possible. There's Slick Shot. Take 1 to 19. It was a slow start for... Is it? I guess we already knew it was a lab. In that case, let's fire off the Rumble. So we draw into another Emrakul. Well, that's a bit unfortunate, but we can make it work. 1, 2, 3. And we'll pass. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have some decent options here. We have an Emrakul, I think, on 4. I mean, get rid of Slickshot Show Off next turn, as long as we don't die, that is. Swift Spear, Dart, a bit rude, but fine. That is 5, down to 14, if nothing else. Bolt, down to 16. 1 card left in hand. You could Dart, down to 15. I don't think we're dead, though. Pretty close, down to 4. We'll draw. Myco Spawn. So we're going to lab. We're going to imprint Emrakul. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, I think that makes the most sense. Ramp and Exile, or do we want to play the Utopia Sprawl? It technically is mana negative here at the K command. I think I will ramp and exile the DRC. Yeah, because if I go Myco Spawn, leave 1 left, no, I can't do that. So exile the Slick Shot. I think I said DRC, but exile the Slick Shot. Make sure I actually targeted the dang thing. Ramp, exile, Slick Shot. And done. So now you have blockers. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. EI. And I have to block in case of a mutagenic growth. That is not an option. Bobble trigger. Wooded Foothills fetch. We'll block. Bobble draw and draw. So play Sanctum 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I will kick Myco Spawn. Yes, we'll kick the Myco. Kick Steam Vents. And we could Bajuka Bog, but I'm not sure that's entirely necessary. How many basics do they normally run? That actually is an interesting prospect. How many basics does Prowess run currently? Prowess. 3 mountain. I see 1, 2. So the Ghost Quarter is not the move, unfortunately. In that case, I think we just go Temple. Are we worried about a Violent Urge right now? I don't think so. So I think just going Temple's correct. Again, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we'll go Temple. And then we'll pass. Do you bolt me down to 1? Yes, you do. So a dart kills me here. Dart bolt, slick shot. There are choices that just outright kill me. They don't attack here. That's pretty good for me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 minus 4 is 10, so I can't play the Myco. No attacks. And draw. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 minus 1 would be 13. It does mean that I have to sacrifice an additional spawn, and I kind of like the idea of having one as backup here. Triggers. Yield to all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll say yes to Sanctum on the off chance it's relevant and grab a Sire 7 death. I'll not sweep. And our turn, comrade. No attack. Scouting Tarn, fetch, surveil. Steam Vents tapped. Mutagenic Growth. And DRC. So in that case, go to main. We'll cast Growth. I guess we can... Doesn't really matter. We're going to block the Swift Spear. We'll cast Growth. Ping you down to 12. Trigger, yield all. And then, actually, I think I should play the DRC. That way they can't use it as a blocker. We'll have to swing into the Emrakul. We'll go to combat. I almost wish I had played the DRC prior to then, so I could have surveilled. That might come back to bite me. We'll see. Alright. What's the last card, your friend? Otherwise, DRC is forced to attack into Emrakul. Oh, shit. Okay, so... Well, no, it did matter, because I could have flashed it. Damn it. I literally said that could bite me if I didn't play the DRC. Initially, I wasn't thinking like, well, I shouldn't play the DRC because I don't want them having necessarily, let's say, 2 flyers, right? And then I thought, well, I kind of want to win next turn. I guess I kind of want to win next turn. DRC's forced attack in the Emerald Pool. We can block. I guess actually in retrospect, maybe it was wrong to play the DRC because they would have been able to block. They would still take 10, but they needed a second blocker for the Sowing Myco. Ah, damn. That one's a hard one. I mean, in retrospect, playing the DRC prior to the mutagenic growth would have given me a potential game win. Yeah. I don't know. That one's a hard one. Because if they had drawn into a slick shot show off, I was also dead. So I guess I don't know. Probably not playing their DRC may have been the better choice in the grand scheme. Because then we can just play the Sire. Sire then triggers K return. We sweep, we attack into Emrakul, we win, even if they have a second blocker. So not playing DRC is probably the better choice, and they just lucky top deck the Lava Dart. Unfortunate. Alright, so we'll cut the Gemstone. I think we got Ice Till here. And what else? We want Bog, we want Cavernous Souls. We don't need Ghost Quarter. I think we trim on an Emrakul. We really don't want to trim on Sire. And World Breaker does help out underneath Trinisphere, so I think we keep it as is. It is possible that also 2 Trinisphere is enough. I do like 3, but 2 might be enough here, and then we add something else to the side. The question is what? On the play for game 2. Utopia Sprawls are pretty dead. One. If I draw into a green source, 2, 3, 4, 6. It'd be a kick to make a spot on 3. Yeah, we can make it work. 9 hits off the top. We dig 4 deep. We play Shifting Woodland first, so then we can go Sprawl. Green and red. Then Temple kicked Myco. Yeah, I think that is the play. Then we can ramp into Devourer. Or we draw into something else into Sire, World Breaker, etc. Potentially too slow, but on the play it's a bit more palatable. Yeah, Prowess being back on the rise is a bit of an issue. That last game was still heartbreaking. Devour trigger. There's the Misty. Grab the Misty. Shifting Woodlands tapped and pass. And pass. I definitely would have liked that K return, but we kind of need the green source here. Steam Vent Shock and DRC. No Bauble draw. Misty Rainforest fetch for a forest. Sprawl for red. And Sprawl for green. And then pass. Next turn we can kick a Myco. Would have been nice if I also had a Heat to dispatch the DRC, but no such luck. We'll pass in full. They hold up a blue source for consign. Mountain, DRC, and Swift Spear. Only one type in yard, so not too worried about a... Ooh, another Myco. That's lovely. Kick, Steam Vents, yield all. I'm thinking that I go with one of two cards here, either Cavern Souls or Sanctum of Ugin. I kind of like the idea of Sanctum of Ugin. The only downside, of course, is that we do not have another land as follow-up to then play the Sire the following turn. I mean, worst comes to worst, we go Sanctum, we triggered off Devour, we grab Sire, we don't hit the land, we play Myco Spawn, we kick again. Yeah, let's do that. We'll go Sanctum. Because if we resolve the Sire, we should just win. And if we don't, it gets countered on the other Shifting Woodland, potentially. Like that idea. If they do get Delirium somehow, then we'll probably kick Myco Spawn for Bojuka Bog. And shrink the DRCs. Another Steam Vent, Shock the 14. 4 cards in hand, blue Preordained triggers. 2 types in yard, and 2 Surveil triggers. Keeps it on top. Scry 2, draw a card. So at the very least, they'll probably go top 1. Not sure about the second one, though. Top, draw. Bolt. Yep, that'll be 3 types in yard. Bauble, so now that is Delirium. So I think we have to go Myco Spawn Bojuka Bog. We'll take 9 down to 8. 2 types in yard, draw. Talisman. So this is 7, 5, 6. Kick Myco. Bojuka Bog. Shrink the DRCs. And pass. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2 short of Emrakul. Down to 8. Next turn we can devour a DRC. Trigger Sanctum and grab Sire. Unless we draw into a Soul Land, in which case then we just Windmill Slam the Emrakul. And that would be my thought, at least. Finding more lands. Another type in yard for DRC. 3 cards in hand. Wooded Foothills, fetch 13, Surveil. Interesting. Mutagenic growth to yard. 2 types in yard. 2 away from Delirium. Three in hand. Violent Urge. Okay, so I was right to get rid of their yard, but now they could theoretically get Delirium and win. Violent Urge to yards. They shouldn't be able to get there then. They'll get to 3 at most. We'll gain first strike. Surveil. Yep, keeps it on top. 2, 1, 2, 3. I mean, I think I will just block the Swift Spear if they have mutagenic growth. They have mutagenic growth, right? No mutagenic growth down to 5. We draw. Unholy Heat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I will cast Devourer trigger. I'll eat DRC number 1. Yield all. Yes. For... Oh, I already exiled the Sire, didn't I? Damn. In that case, what do I want to go for here? We could go Chrysalis, we could go World Breaker, go for another Devourer. World Breaker is appealing because of reach, so I think we could go World Breaker. At the same time, Chrysalis hits that and also does ramp us towards Emrakul, which I do like. So let's go Chrysalis. And then Heat. I will attack for 3 and pass down to 10. Unfortunately, I am 1 short of lethal. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Again, 2 short of Emrakul. 2 cards in hand. We'll pass in full. What say you, opponent? Draws a card. 3 in hand. Are we dead to a Bolt Lava Dart? I guess a Slick Shot Show Off into Mutagenic Growth would also be lethal, wouldn't it? Nice thing about Chrysalis, it'll be able to give us reach as well as make some ground blockers on top of which is appealing. EI. EI resolves, and opponent will scoop it up. Alright, you made it to game 3. Let's bring back the gemstone, cut a rumble, and run it back. Trying to think here. I don't think there's anything else we can really do for Prowess outside of these Trinispheres and removal. K-Return's actually not really the best card, so maybe just go 2 K-Return instead of 3. Problem with K-Return is that they can grow out of range relatively easily. The Heats are definitely worthwhile, though. The biggest thing is both Heat and Return need to be played at sorcery speed and not at instant speed. Because otherwise, then they can grow out of range, and in top of which get a Prowess trigger, etc., right? One should have consigns, and I think that really is it that they bring in, isn't it? Maybe some version of Grave Hate for Emrakul, but I'm not entirely certain about that. I'll just take a look at their sideboard. Consign a memory, maybe Surgical, Spell Snare, Murktide. I could see Murktide theoretically into the Flood Maul. This is a bit risky. Actually, no, I keep this. It's a bit slow is what it is. But I think I do like it, because it is a turn 2 Trinisphere. And if we draw into land, and we can get to Myco into Sire pretty quickly. Yeah, ideally if we draw into a green source, we go Lab, Imprint, Talisman, Land, Utopia Sprawl, Trinisphere, Steam Vent Shock, and DRC. No bobble. Draw. Second Lab. In that case, Tuck Breaker, cast Talisman, and pass. There's a world where we go Mycospawn into Trinisphere. The way that would work is if we draw into another 7 mana value spell. Or into a temple, I suppose. Because then we could leave one up, lab, tuck, play. And that is an option. Preordain, top, draw, double DRC. Down to 19, we draw. Cavern of Souls. In that case, I think we don't tip our hand too much here. We just play Cavern of Souls, play Trinisphere pass, I think is right. Cavern of Souls, name Eldrazi, and Trinisphere pass. And pass. Next turn we can kick Myco. Two types in yard. You can't play anything unless you have another land friend. I'm gonna keep you off of lands for a hot minute here. Not even Consign can help you. Because next turn we'll kick Mycospawn, take the Steam Vents, keep them under 3. There is our forest, a bit late, mind you. Tuck, kick, make her uncounterable, though not exactly necessary. Take out the Steam Vents and we'll skip Oop It Up. We are there. Thank you, Trinisphere. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I could trim down to 2 Trinispheres, but I do think 3 might be right with the increased play rate of Prowess. With that said, we'll be back for match 2. Alright, and we're back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. We're looking for a Rumble, Sprawl, or Talisman here off the top. Feels like Storm. Huh. I kind of don't like any of this right now, at least not into what I expect to be Storm or Red Belcher. I think I need to just like rush out the Mycospawns basically, so I'm going to say no to all and draw. There's our Sprawl. So we can go Windswept Teeth, fetch. We'll fetch for... Let's fetch for a Stomping Ground, Shock, Utopia Sprawl for green. That way we have green-red in case of a Chrysalis. And we'll pass. At the very least, we can then cast a Mycospawn non-kicked and try and set it for a kicked Mycospawn. But if it's Storm, I will be surprised if we make it past their turn 3. If it's Red Belcher, we might be okay. What the? March of Reckless Joy. This might be Red Belcher. Hold up. Hold the phone. I think this is Red Belcher. Okay, if that's the case, oh, yes. Yes. This looks fantastic now. I was sweating Storm, but Red Belcher, we can do that. Cast Myco. Yield all. Grab Ghost Quarter. And we're going to Ghost Quarter you, friend. And pass in full. And now we Ghost Quarter them to death. Alright, and we will play Ice Till, Ghost Quarter, always yield, and opponent scoops it up. There we go. And this is Belcher, specifically Red Belcher. So, Red Belcher is a little bit weird because they kind of play like a hybrid Storm Belcher deck, but they don't have counter magic, which is relevant. We can cut Bog, Cavern Souls, keep Ghost, bring in both Ghost Quarter, cut K Return. Trinisphere is still relevant. Chrysalis and Sire are not. We also can cut Rumble. So what do we want to do here? Because they go Ritual, Ritual, Ironcrag, Feet, Belcher, Win, right? So we definitely want Trinisphere. Flute is relevant. I don't think Soulish Jailer is. I haven't looked at Red Belcher in a minute. Goblin Char Belcher. Let's take a look. Let's see if Red Belcher is even... No. Yeah, it makes it a bit more difficult to figure out how to sideboard here, because I don't know if they're playing Impulse Draws. What did they play? March of Bitter Reunion with March of Reckless Joy. Huh. I guess we could just bring in Chris. Actually, not. Let's bring in Sire and a Chrysalis, or Sire and a Jailer. Go Jailer just in case. Run it back like this. All right. There's Rumble. There's Ghost Quarter. They'll probably have brought in a basic, but we can make this work. Yes. We'll pass. Land tapped and draw. There's Myco. I was kind of hoping for a 7-minute value spell so we could win Talisman. I will... Play a Ghost Quarter? It's tempting. But I'm not sure if that is wise to do right this instant. We'll play a Forest and pass. And pass. Mystic Peak Shock, or Bolt rather, 2. Ritual. You have triple Ritual into Ironcrag? No, you have Ritual, Ritual, Ironcrag, Belcher. Yeah. And they did bring in a basic, so it wouldn't have mattered, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't think there's ever anything I could do there short of having a turn 1 flute, right? That's the thing about Red Belcher, is that it can just pop off on turn 2 like that. Okay. So we will cut the Gemstone, bring back in the Rumble, and run it back. On the play for game 3. There's Flute but no lands, one mulligan. There's Trinisphere and Ghost Quarter. We would specifically need a lab off top. 4 hits. A little bit concerning. I mean, it's possible they don't go for the turn 2 right. We might be able to just Trinisphere. But the thing is, once they get the 4 mana, they can Ironcrag. So we really need to get this Myco spawn online. This is sketchy. Don't like it. I think we have to mulligan again. Kind of sucks, because our best draw is lab, and that's it. I'll mulligan one more time. Not much better, but as a cake Manix 2-on-2, which is palatable. I will pitch. Thinking Talisman Shifting Wood. Talisman Shifting Wood done. Pass. And pass. Fisher. Ragavan. We will get rid of the Ragavan. Ice Till is nice. We could go Forest, but then we don't have the ability to play the Ice Till. We ramp an Exile or Scryjar Exile? I think we... Well, what's the benefit of ramping here? I guess Myco Spawn, Sire a 7 death, World Breaker. World Breaker's actually pretty good. Alright, we will ramp and exile Rog and pass and pass. Tapped, another Rog, and draw. Wooded Foothill, pass. We'll block, and then we will surveil. Mystic Peak. I mean, they could just go Ritual Magus. Well, that's on me for pressing 0. Hashtag MTGO moment. It's like one of those moments of I wasn't expecting it. I should have, because they're mono red. I should have expected it in the same way as Harbinger and Blue Belcher. But if I had held up my ability to respond, which I should just do in general when I have the ability to do something instead of pressing 0, I could have then fetched for a green source, played the Ice Till, and at least then done a little bit more. Yeah, especially if drawn into the Emrakul, that thing sucks. Alright. Well, that's unfortunate. I feel like I learned this every once in a while, and I learned again today. Pressing 0 is a trap. Because 0 means you have something that you want to do, right? And pressing it is a trap. You should just hold and, well, not press it. But good news, we're never punished. Ice Till. However, we don't have a land is the problem there. Block the Ragavan. Like, they want me to block the Magus. That much is clear to me. First strike. That's unfortunate. Draw. Verdant Cat. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 short. I would have had a card in yard to ramp more. Yeah, the Magus, or the Ice Till would have been good. They took World Breaker, of course they did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Would have been able to get rid of a land or a medallion. I mean, right now we're playing on borrowed time. We could just lose right now. In fact, yeah, I think we do. Oh, yeah, that'll work. Yep. Draw, sprawl. And I think we just concede here. Yeah, I'm trying to think if we have an out. Because we're going to take 5, 7, 9 down the 2. I can play what? I think I cut Chrysalis. We did. Which means I have no way of making multiple blockers. I have 6 mana, so at most I could play... You know what? There is an out, and it's through Rumble. But we'd have to hit, like, all the right cards. Alright. There's Talisman. I need Rumble off the top. I'll be at 1. Yeah, we'd be in such a better spot if I was able to play the Ice Till a turn sooner. Draw. Temple doesn't cut it. We will concede. Alright. That's unfortunate. I guess another option was just not to block the Ice Till, but then they would have... I don't know. Maybe that would have been the better option, but then they ramp, and I'm afraid of them just going off with the Belcher. Either way, is what truly got me more than anything and put me at a disadvantage early was me pressing 0. I wasn't thinking about the Magus. which I should have thought about. I should have brought in Unholy Heat. And then B, I should just, in general, if you have the ability to do something, whether it's sack a spawn, sack a fetch to fetch, or play an instant speed spell, I think you should just probably not press 0, because that's gotten me way too many times. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to fetch on end step. I'll just press 0 and call it, right? That's a mistake on my end, and I should know better, but it is what it is. We'll be back for match 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the play for game 1. Sure. The hand's kind of ugly. Devour, save it. Give me a soul land, friend. I'm gonna have to say no to all of that. Misty Rain, and then, again, there's no way they have like a turn 1 moon effect. Even still, I'm gonna hold my Misty Rainforest. That last match traumatized me already. It's like, nope, we're pressing 1 until end step, just in case, because you never know. So we're gonna fetch Surveil and hope. Oh, is this Amulet Titan? I'm gonna say it's probably Amulet Titan. So I need a Ghost Quarter ASAP. Commercial District, Surveil. Stomping Ground's top. And Stomping Ground Shock. I need a Soul Land. That's not a Soul Land. I will grab the Forest. So next turn we do have Myco Spawn not kicked for Ghost Quarter. I'll hold 2 here, because then we can respond to Spawn. Oh! It's, Basking Broodscale, not Titan. Okay. That's good to know. 5 types in Yard. There's Emrakul. Passing. They're right now off of a green source. That's interesting. If I drew into a land, I'd be a bit more confident of going Myco Spawn into Ghost Quarter, but I don't. I guess we could go Ice Till here and just pray they don't have the win. I mean, I don't have any interaction right now other than going Ghost Quarter. The Ice Till might be the safer move. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Otherwise, we could go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But the Ice Till can mill and dig deeper up to 7. Let's go Ice Till. Not to mention next turn with Ice Till, then we can go Square Loop. Sprawl, 5 types in Yard. We'll go up to 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 short of Emrakul. We'll pass. And now we just need to pray that we don't die next turn. Makes a construct, that's fine. It is a 1/1. Saga trigger, tap or make a construct. I'd love to see you make a construct. That's concerning. So 2 types in Yard. They're not close to Emrakul. They could go Soul Guide Lantern here to stop my Emrakul, theoretically. Pithy Needle. Well, you know, I should have seen that coming. They really named the Misty Rainforest. If so, I'm gonna cry. God damn it. I should have fetched. Damn it. Yeah, that was... Yeah, that's another lesson learned that I really should know, but I always forget with Saga when Needles are played. You should always fetch prior to the last Saga search because your opponent could needle a fetch. Do I think it's the best choice? No, but it's impactful. Yeah, it's pretty impactful because now I can't fetch. I'll pass in full. Damn. TK. So this looks like the MOC list. They'll take the Myco. Actually, they could take the Emrakul. We are close to Emrakul. Though, less so now with this Misty Rainforest bricked. Huh. Oh, damn. I should know that lesson, but it's always good for it to be re-realized, I suppose. You can block the Construct, but not the TKS we draw. Talisman. And we'll pass. No attacks. Yeah, because if the Misty Rainforest was in Yard, they wouldn't have Pithany of the Misty Rain. They would have probably done something else entirely. Better to relearn these lessons now and really break them into my head than do so during an RC, I suppose. I think if Misty Rainforest was in Yard, it'd be really unlikely, in my opinion, that they would needle Misty, but they could. It still would have gotten me value by milling and also have an additional land. Because now I'd be at 5 mana instead of 4. So we one soul land off of Breaker or Devourer, right? Yeah, attack the TKS, not the Construct. You could attack the Construct. There's no harm in doing so if you're up to making a Construct. They're short on lands, which is good for me. I say that. Nurturing Peatland. Green to Rumble. There's the Rumble. Well, you definitely found your lands now. Do you take a Temple or a Vexing Bauble? I imagine a Temple. Yeah, clearly I don't play against enough Saga decks that also run Needle. Because if I had, then I wouldn't have made that mistake. Makes a Construct. Yep. Draw Temple. Yep, and if we... Okay, I was about to say if I find a land. 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11. Too short. If I had cracked the Misty, I would have had the World Breaker. We could have gotten rid of the Urza Saga or the the Lab. 5, 6, 7, 5. And we would also have another Titan Yard on top of which, for God's sake. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Too short of Emrakul. We'd be 1 short of Emrakul if that. Pass in full. I have to block now because they're going to make a Construct and also get another artifact. So I'm going to have to block a Construct. We'll pass. And I also have Temple. Makes a Construct. Even if I get Emrakul, am I just dead? They don't even let me get that far. They're going to freaking Soul Guide Lantern me. 2 games just absolutely butchered by silly play mistakes. Oh, Haywire Might, even worse. I mean, I have to block. I don't have a choice. On the 4, Haywire Might, target Talisman. Unless you want to target your Pithy Needle, that'd be nice. That'd be a kind thing about it. They also haven't played a land for turn, have they? No. Talisman down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 soul land off. Saga, trigger, draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and yep. Concede. Brutal. We want Boggin, counter souls, no. We want K-return heats in. I think, well, there's actually a lot we kind of like here. Chrysalis isn't as needed. We have Gemstone in, so we cut Rumble. Sire's not as effective here. So the question is now, I do like Fade. I do like Flute. And I do like Heat. K-return's not always the most effective, so probably go down to 1 K-return. Yes. Ghost Quarter is also a little bit interesting here. They don't run too many basics. You could cut the Ghost Quarter, but I think keeping 1 might be good. Actually, going up 2 might be right. Cut the K-return. Yeah, let's run this. Okay, let's not punt, please. That'd be good. We had a really good start, and now we're fumbling. On the play, Heat's solid, Temple, but we don't have much else is the problem. What are our top decks looking like here? Rumble, of course. Myco Spawn's okay. Ice Till's okay. K Command's good. Fable actually, or not Fable. Fade is not bad. Sure. I can just go Stomping, tapped, hold up Heat. Next turn with Talisman. Yeah, it seems right. Devour, Reveal. Stomping Grounds tapped and pass. And pass. What is Devour Exile? That is actually a bit of important information. I was thinking hard here on what to choose. I wonder if it's a combo piece. Lab Blade and Fleshrig are all pretty good cards here. So what do you take, actually? That's a good question. Opponent's thinking hard. Either that or hardly think, I'm not sure which. I mean, it's turn 1. You can't do too much turn 1 shy of Land Blade, or I guess Land Talisman, but since you're playing TCAS, you shouldn't be playing Talismans that I can think of. Saga. Okay. So, Mike Saga Lab, Saga Blade, Saga Needle. You and these needles, what are you going to name this time? Ghost Quarter? Wooded Foothills. Interesting. Draw. We have Flute. Flute's pretty nice. There's Talisman. Hold up Heat. Next turn we can hold up Flute. Right now we're 3 shy of World Breaks. We're not going to play in time to get rid of the Saga, I don't think. Do you have a lab for Saga? We could theoretically... No, you do not have a Grove. We could theoretically Flute for Saga. Green. There's the Brood. And we're just going to end Brood now. And draw. Emrakul. Play a forest. And hold. We are 2 short of the breaker. Would love to see a soul land. We have 8 hits off top. We have access to flute at instant speed. Saga trigger. Yeah, they were going for the turn 3 win. Which should mean they have another land in hand, so 4 unknown, if I'm assuming that to be the case. Haywire Might. Interesting. And Haywire Might, target Talisman. I mean, I'll float just out of correct behavior. It does mean now I am short again. Alright. And draw. Shifting Woodland is nice, though doesn't do too much right now, but getting rid of the Summoning Sickness might be relevant, so we'll play the Shifting Wood. Again, we'll hold the Flute. Saga trigger. We could flute Saga, but I think there's more important things to flute than Saga. Alright. Again, we'll love to see a soul land here off of the top for breaker to get rid of Saga. Good thing I only play 1 Wooded Foothills. Some lists do run multiple Wooded Foothills, but I kind of hedge my bets. Alright, so they're probably going to pass here, I'd imagine, and just start making constructs. Maybe fluting the Saga would have been right. But then we do end up hurting in the instance that they go for the combo, right? We can deal with the constructs of Fade, Dampening Sphere. That's annoying. Yeah, that's fine. Means I'm, again, now short on the World Break. Draw. Second Flute. Okay, so now they have second Flute. We can go Flute. Name Urza Saga. And now we can hold the second Flute for the combo. So no constructs for you. You've already used your Haywire Might. You shouldn't have 2 to my knowledge. You currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're short on Emrakul, which is good for me. What do you find with the Saga? There's the Blade. Do you have Zebrud? So you could play Brood, you could equip, but you have no way to then trigger. Regardless, if you play the Brood, I guess you could Ballista now. Play Brood, equip Ballista for X0 plus 1. That would work. So they do play the Brood, we'll flute the Blade. And also, you might be correct to flute the Blade now regardless, since we then have World Breaker potentially next turn. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still short on World Breaker, so we're just going to hold the flute. Never mind. Lab. No imprint. Alright. But next turn, we'll definitely flute and name Blade ahead of our turn in case we play the World Breaker. Saga trigger float. No constructs for you. Yeah, I think opponent was on the construct plan, and the flute definitely helped us out there. Temple. So I have 4 mana right now. In response, Blade of the Blood, or Flute. Name, Blade of the Blood Chief. And pass in full. So now they can Beseiju Flute at some point. Draw. Oh, you gotta be joking. Alright, well, pass in full. Unfortunately, this Damping Sphere is hurting more than it normally does. Normally, I don't care about Damping Sphere too much, but the fact that it is reducing the amount of mana we have by 1 is actually relevant. Do you adapt to the Broodscale now? You adapt, which tells me you don't have a Beseiju. That's good to know. And pass. I would love to see Cake, man, so I can get rid of this Broodscale, though. And ramp towards Emrakul, for that matter. Attack me for 3, down to 20. Rumble. Ooh. Well, there's the Beseiju. They'll pick up Beseiju. And so that we have... What can we do here? We need removal for the Broodscale. If we don't find removal for the Broodscale, we lose, right? Lab. Oh. They can Beseiju now. I mean, Beseiju... They would only have 1 unknown, so I'm not sure they can win. But they can make infinite spawns that are infinite, right? Yeah, they can do that. Funny enough, if they had rumbled prior to combat, they would have won on the spot. Opponent passes. We'll draw. So, I mean, do we lose regardless? No. If I get rid of a blade, that means they can make the Broodscale infinite, and also make infinite mana. We know 2 cards in their hand, Devour of Destiny and the Beseiju. So if they have a finisher, then they win. But if they had that, they would have done it last turn, right? So this will buy us a turn. We'll get rid of Blade. Otherwise we lose. We'll pass at that point. They'll Beseiju my flute. And we'll get a Surveil land. Yes. We will Surveil. Trigger. Sanctum to Yard. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're 1 short of the Emrakul. We actually might be able to win off the Emrakul, which is interesting to think about. There's the blade. I'm going to tell opponent, show me a payoff, and I'll concede. Otherwise, I'll consider the Broodscale million/million. So basically just trying to shortcut both, so like save us both sometimes. You don't have a payoff. Sounds good. If the brood gets in, I lose. Okay. So yeah, basically just telling them if the Broodscale gets in, I lose, play your hand. I'm going to obviously block the World Breaker, and I have some potential outs. Not many, but some. So they don't need to go through this process. They could just play their Devourer. It would exile nothing but give another body on board. I think my out might be Emrakul. Because if we on their turn draw into a Ballista, then we can just kill them with their own Ballista. Alright. What are you doing? Like I said, I guess they're just like making sure I can't do some shenanigans to kill it? Because I already told them, like, I'll just consider it a million. A second brood, okay. Oh, so they have 2 million broods. I understand now. Yes. That does complicate things, admittedly. Yeah, it really does mean I need to win using their own cards. So either a K command or Ballista would get me there if I can get to the Emrakul. Alright, one unknown in hand. They'll attack with the Brood. Like I said, if it gets in, I lose. I will block with the World Break. It will die. You now have 4 types in Yard. I do have 1 blocker through Shifting Woodland, admittedly. And I guess the opponent just, once again, just growing it out of range. Which, fair. You have another Devourer or something? Nope. Just like seeing number go up. That is fine. So yeah, land in the Emrakul. We have to win with their own deck. Otherwise, what's our out? K command? K command can make enough blockers while also ramping me. Sure. Did we cut Chrysalis? I think we did, right? Yes. Chrysalis would have given me enough blockers, but obviously not the case here. Alright, let's see it. We will draw Mycospawn. So we can make 2 blockers, right? We have Shifting Woodland plus Myco. So I need to set aside 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Oh shit. Is this Dampening Sphere going to cost me? So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, leaving back 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, we're fine. So we cast the Mycospawn, not kicked. So I'll go da. And leave up double green. Yield to all. So this way we can block both Broodscales, take 6 from the Devourer. That's fine. Yes. The only downside is we're going to lose Shifting Woodland, which means that we'll be down a land again. I suppose we'll just go with a Temple. Not that it's going to do much here. You know what, actually? Going Ghost Quarter actually might be relevant. We have green, so we can go Ghost Quarter. We'll go Ghost Quarter. This could be relevant. Alright. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Next turn we'll be down to 12 again. I mean, if they K command my yard, I lose. They do not. Okay. They draw into a payoff. Go to combat. Go to attacks. You're attacking with the Broods. You're attacking the Devourer. Makes sense. I'm going to Shifting Woodland. Target the World Breaker. Green, green. Make it into a blocker. So I'm not dead yet. Go to blocks. And we'll pass. Alright, once again, we need a land for this Emrakul, and then somehow win on their turn. Land. Blade. What are you playing? Another Brood, that's fine. Okay, so now you have 3 infinite Broods. Uh-huh. If I somehow went through this, I'll be astounded. I need a K command, or a K command will give me another turn. Again, Emrakul, we could theoretically win off of their own deck. And like I said, I communicated to the opponent that I'll just consider the Broodscales that have been equipped with Blade infinite, or million in this case. Just because we do have to state, like, how many times you want to, do the loop. In this case, I just said, 1,000,000 should be enough. But if they want to burn their timer, that's okay if we get a game 3. So I have nothing in my deck right now that can make 3 blockers except for K command. Fade would only get me 1 blocker. So we need Emrakul or K command here, I think, is the bottom line. Draw. Damn it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got nothing, right? They already have a land in yard. Damn. Alright. We will concede. I just want to confirm one more time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 short of them. Emrakul. We will concede. Alright. Well, we'll be back for match number 4. Alright, and we're back for match 4 on the play for game 1. I'll keep. We'll surveil on 1 into Rumble. Fun and Mulligan's down to 6. I'll play Misty Rainforest, and if they play Needle, we'll fetch the Misty. If somehow they get a Moon effect on 1, we play the Misty. Okay, Surveil. Surveil trigger resolves. Goryos. It is Goryos. Okay. Well, good of opponent to show me that early. We'll go Commercial District. Surveil. Myco spawn is nice. Do I want to keep Myco here? I kind of want a temple if possible, but that might be asking a lot because we could theoretically go for Ghost Quarter. Ba, 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 ba. Let's say might go to Yard. And pass and full. Draw. Breaker. Not exactly what I wanted. We'll go Stomping Ground, Shock, Rumble. Okay, there is Lab. So we can Lab. We could Lab Imprint Breaker. Go Ice Till, or we can go Emrakul. Emrakul is very tempting because we have 2 types in Yard. That would bump it up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we'd have Lab after we play the Ice Till. I'll grab the Emrakul and we'll pass. 5, 8, 9. Next turn we can then Ice Till, grab back Lab. Otherwise we can Rumble again. Worst comes to the worst. I'll hold again. If I have the ability to do something, I should hold up my ability to respond. Well, I don't think it'll be relevant in this matchup, but just in case. Prismatic Ending, I'll do a responsible thing, and I will sacrifice the spawn. Okay, as all opponent does, that's fine. They could be holding up a Consign, but that won't stop the Rumble. K-Return, not doing much here. Let's fire off the Rumble then. There's a Talisman, there's a Windswept Teeth. I will go for the Windswept Teeth, as Talisman will add another type to Yard. We'll play the Windswept Teeth, and then I will pass. Now we're at 10 out of 13. Flooded Strand will fetch. Flooded Strand will surveil. Solitude to Yard, rather that than a Atroxa. Flooded Strand. Blue, black, Frog. Frog is a concern. We'll go to end step and then fetch with Windswept Teeth. Stomping Grounds tapped. And draw. Chrysalis. 6 types in Yard. 10, 11, 2 short. So we played the Sanctum of Ugin, which is correct. We want to seek the instance where we always play from land first, then Ice Till to play around a Solitude in hand. We could play Chrysalis so we can block Frog, but then it does open us up to a Consigned Memory. 6, 10, 11, though Chrysalis does ramp us. Ice Still does as well. The only downside is Ice Still doesn't have reach. Interesting. Chrysalis runs into Consign, but they consign the Chrysalis and not the trigger. Then we have the Emrakul the following turn. They do know we have Emrakul, I believe. Right? Let me confirm that. Yes, they know we have the Emrakul. So they're going to be paying attention to that, though. So I think the safer bet actually might be the Ice Still here. Let's go Ice Still. Because this should not be able to be countered. I will play the Lab. Trigger Ice Still. Trigger Lab. Lab, I'll Imprint Breaker. Ice Still mill K command. And I will hold. Bloodstrand fetch down to 18. Surveil. Land to yard. And we will hold. 5 in hand. Do you have the Troxar, Grizzlebrand in hand, and Goryos? That is the question. Float with Frog. If you did, I feel like you would have played that prior to. Frog will hit and draw. Land, 5 in hand. There's the Troxa. Here comes the Goryos. Which means I think they have double Goryos in hand, would be my guess. Alright, what 10 cards do we see? We do see a consign to memory, so I can only imagine they will grab the consign and hold up the last 2. I guess they can only hold up 1. They can only hold up 1 if they want to keep the Troxa on board, admittedly. Chooses Ephem, Seas, Frog, Grave. So, unfortunately, that does mean the Ephem Atroxa sees my Emrakul out of hand. Ephem. Alright, what do you take now? Chooses Force Flats Atroxa. There's the Seas. They'll take the Emrakul. Yep. 1. Well, this one's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't think... There's Solitude. Solitude will eat Ice Till. I mean, it's not over yet. What did they pitch for that? They pitched a Troxa. Ice Till down. Up to 17. Solitude to yard. And Goryo's trigger. Trigger resolves. And... It's the Thoughtseize bug, friends. I think that should be enough, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sanctum of Ugin trigger. Yield to all. I don't think we crack Sanctum here. No. Yeah, I think... I'm trying to think here. Opponent's not thrilled by my top deck. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna say no to Sanctum, because then if we do that, we're left with 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So I think we have to say no. Like we need something to deal with a Troxa. We have the Frog, we can deal with the Frog. The Troxa is an issue though because I have Death Touch. So they'll do Frog things. We're gonna pass in full. We can't do anything else, so that makes sense. So they can just grow the Frog. Pitch their Water Grave. You should just pitch everything now. There's no reason not to. Ephem trigger. Oh, this is interesting. Goryo's Riddler Force. Huh. Atraxa read real quick? Atraxa reads, but the rest in the bottom of your library. Oh, I was really hoping it was into Grave because I was thinking if I could deck them. They don't have anything in Yard to Goryos right now. We're going to pitch everything to Frog, but I need to get rid of this Atraxa. So I'm thinking that we do Ephem. Ephem cast target Atraxa. Atraxa will trigger. I dismiss all of that. We see Atraxa Solitude. Okay, so this is perfect, because now we can grab Solitude Ephem. Right? Solitude. So choose a creature, land, sorcery, or instant. Then opponent skips it up. Yeah, so... yeah, Solitude Ephem. We then Solitude pitch Ephem. Solitude pitch Ephem, get rid of Atraxa, take nothing else. I guess we could take the Hedge Maze. The Hedge Maze is not a bad idea. And then pitch Frog, empty Yard, attack a Frog into Emrakul, and we win off the next turn cycle as long as Hedge Maze doesn't draw them into something ridiculous, right? Yeah, solid stuff. Alright, well, I'll take it. As I say all the time, it is better to be lucky than to be good. So we definitely want Bajukabog, we definitely want Counter Souls, we do not want K-Return. They have stopped bringing in Harbinger, so Heat's kind of meh. Cage, Flute. We want the Gemstone. Quarter's okay-ish. The question is, what else do we want? Because Heat does clear... it does clear Riddler, which is relevant. But I think Chrysalis is good because it also is able to block Riddler and Frog. It is possible that it might just be best for us to move completely off the Ice Till plan here. Rip the Quarter and then 2 Ice Tills. Otherwise, we could pitch Syra 7 Death. Syra can block Atraxa, the main downside of it, of course, the fact that it just eats a Solitude most often. Unholy Heat, Flute, Jailer, Cage makes sense. Vexing Bauble also could be good here. Like run a Vexing Bauble over the Ice Till. Could run Vexing Bauble over the Sire. Yeah, that might be correct. Let's run this like this then. Because, yeah, Sire, or rather, Bauble hits Force plus Solitude, which are relevant cards. Turn 1 Cage is good. I guess we don't have to go turn 1 unless they go for like a insane turn 1 Surveil into Atraxa, turn 2 Goryos, but they wouldn't do that. I'll keep. We'll pass. So we can go Wooded Foothills, fetch. Actually, you know what? We can actually go... I think we go Cage. I kind of like the idea of going Cage first. Unless they Thoughtseize me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter then. So we'll take Cage. Otherwise, I think going Cavern of Souls for Cage, then land Talisman Sprawl would be better. But it's a moot point now since they're going to just see the K command. I only guess it would be the Force in hand or Prismatic Ending. Second Sprawl. So I think we go... Well, they're not going to go Goryos. So we can just take our time then. But then they untap. I mean, they'll just force check. Not just force check. So we're going to go Eldrazi. I think it's better to force check here. And force them to have it. No force. So next turn we can go Wooded Foothills, Talisman Sprawl. Blue to Delta fetch 14 for a white source prismatic ending. Or for a frog. Down to 12. He's a frog. It's an Emperor Bones. That does play around Cage, admittedly. I guess that might be why they took the K command. That makes sense. There's a lab. Lab's not doing much. We'll fetch the Wooded Foothills. We'll go Stomping Ground Shock. Yeah, Stomping Ground Shock makes sense here. We will Shock. Talisman. Talisman Sprawl. Unless you force. There's a force pitch Riddler. Honestly, I think keeping the Riddler there would have made more sense, but I'm okay with this. We'll pass. Not the end of the world. Though it does send me back a turn if we draw into a 4-mana value spell, I suppose. And Faithless Mending. I mean, if you pitch a target for Bones, that is a problem, because then we'll need a heat off top to deal with it before they can adapt. Pitches Goryos. They did not. So they're just going to eat my Yar. That's fine. Yeah, especially knowing that they play Bones, I think cutting the Ice Tills was worth it. We draw. Rumble. I mean, they can't force here, but they could consign the Talisman. I don't think that's a good use of their turn, but it's a thing they could do. We'll play the Ugin Lab. No imprint. Cast Talisman. Do you consign it? No consign. We'll play the Sprawl. Go for green, red, green. And then Rumble. There is an Emrakul. So this is really awkward because I'd love to take the Mycospawn. However, I die if I don't take the Emrakul. So I need to take the Emrakul. So we'll just take that. And I will pass. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Currently, really we're 4 short. Surveil. You also have Faithful Mending next turn. Force to Yard. We will pass. Thoughtseize. That is unfortunate. Thoughtseize rips Emrakul, which means now Bones hits Emrakul. Do you adapt this turn? I mean, we're going to have to then block spawn. The Emperor Bones will be down at 1, which means we can't fetch, and we need a solution to Emperor Bones, right? Down to 1. So I need a K command here. Or a blocker. Draw. Rumble does get me a blocker. So we will go... How do I want to proceed here? I cannot tap the Talisman. That would be a bad idea. I will go green, green. Tap. I guess I should tap this for colorless, so I'm not tempted. And Rumble. There's Flute. There's Temple. We could Flute Faithful Mending. I think that actually might be correct. That way they can't flash it back. I'll grab Flute. Would have really loved that K command, admittedly. Grab Flute. Cast Flute. Name Faithful Mendings. They can't go digging. And then Sprawl on Stomping Grounds for green. Alright, and we'll pass. We again need a blocker. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're 1 short of Emrakul off the top. But we can cast everything else in our deck. Blue, black, frog. Okay, so we need probably like a Devourer of Destiny. 5 types in Yard. We'll block the Emperor Bones. Devour Destiny would do it. K command would do it. We draw. Myco Spawn unfortunately does not do it. Alright, and we will concede. Alright, game 3, we will cut the Gemstone, bring back the Malevolent Rumble, and run it back. Yeah, the Thoughtseize hitting that Merkle is brutal. Alright, on the play for game 3. We can make this work. We just need to remember not to fetch on 1. So reveal a Devourer. Trigger. Myco Spawn is tempting here, because then we can find another soul and we can kick it. We'll grab the Myco. I'll play Lab, Imprint, and Vexing Bauble. Pass. So no Force, no Solitudes from our opponent unless they hardcast it. Surveil, Island, and draw. Why pause on draw? Okay. Vexing Bauble fetch for a Stomping Round. Shock. Rumble. Rumble finds another Surveil land, or not Surveil land, a Soul land, so that is perfect. Unfortunately, we see 2 more Myco Spawns, but this will work. We can then kick next turn. I will hold. Polluted Delta. So that tells me they likely have a Consign in hand. So what I'll do here is I'm going to Rumble instead. There's a Grafdigger's Cage and a Temple. I think we just go Grafdigger's Cage. World Breaker will end up in Yard, and that's okay. So I'll play Grafdigger's Cage. Grafdigger's Resolves. That tells me they might not have a Consign after all. We'll Imprint Devour and then hold. So we have Flute, which can then hit Frog or Emperor Bones, which is relevant. We can always hit Goryos as well if we see an Atraxa here, for example. Keep it on top. We can also name Consign to Memory, which is nice. In that case, I think we just name Consign to Memory. Flute. Polluted Delta fetch. Yield all. Hallowed Fountain, shock, and we'll name Consign to Memory. Devourer, we will kick the Myco. And I think going blue-black is correct, but apparently Spona will scoop it up. I'm not sure what they have in hand, but apparently us sending back a land was good enough for them to concede. We'll take it. All right, we'll be back for match number 5. All right, and we're back for match 5 on the play for game 1. That's awkward. That's an awkward hand. I want to keep it, but it means that we're like a turn behind, right? Because what we'd love to see is a soul land. So that way I could go Wooded Foothill fetch, Sprawl, Soul Land, but I can't fetch after seeing the 4 on top of Devourer. We'd have to wait a turn, which means we have access to a K command X1, which is fine. Like, triple Myco Spawn's really good. Ah, frig it, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. Don't like it, but we'll keep it. Reveal Devourer. I just realized my opponent's also on 71 or 61. Interesting. Oofda. I will grab the Misty Rain, or do I just wheel? Oh, that's awkward. How do I want to proceed here? I guess if I wheel... No. Like, I mean, I could wheel and then surveil, but then that means I'm not on Sprawl. We could just grab the Rumble, but then we're playing Rumble on 3, which feels bad. Yeah, this hand would be so much better on the draw than on the play. So, you know what? I'm just gonna wheel. I think it's gonna bite me in the butt, but we're gonna do that. We're gonna pass. I'm looking for a Soul Land. 8 hits off top across 50. We get to dig 2 deep. Seems reasonable enough. What's the opponent playing? Oh, no. I'm in danger. Pause on end step. Wooded Foothills fetch. Surveil. And Breaker to Yard. I will draw. There's our Soul Land. Lab Imprint. I think we go K command ramp scry draw. And we need to find a temple off top so I can then kick and hold up Ghost Quarter. If we can make that work, we're in business. If not, we're in danger. Because the way that I guess the way they get around Ghost Quarter is Spelunking and Lotus Field, of course. Can they win this turn? Theoretically, yes, they could. That would be pretty narrow. They need a bounce land. Bounce land, activate Mycosynth Gardens, target Vigor, hold up green, return the bounce land to hand, a Boreal Grazer, play the bounce land for 4. And from there, you would be able to... You need an additional +1 like Graze or Explore Spelunking. Otherwise, if you do the Bounce Land and then Lotus Field, you just win. So yeah, Bounce Land, Lotus Field. Okay, Bounce Land, a Boreal Grazer, Lotus Field, Titan would win you the game. Yeah. Because then you would have 1 Field and Yard, 2 Amulet Vigors, which means you would be able to go Bounce Land, Mirror Pool. Yeah, so I mean, this could be a game 2, or not game 2, a turn 2 win if they have the right cards, but it is pretty narrow. Like I said, Bounce Land, Grazer, Lotus Field, Titan, or Titan equivalent, so could also be Pact, of course. Otherwise, it would have to be Bounce Land, Grazer, Bounce Land, plus either an Explorer. Okay, just an Otawara. That is fine. So we're not dead. Alright, I need to see a Soul Land, specifically a Temple off top. Go. That's a Rumble. I don't think we can do it, right? We need Ghost Quarter. Because they're going to have 2 Amulets next turn. So we're gonna go bottom, Emrakul. Lab? Lab or Temple. 7 hits. Damn it. Alright, in that case, cast Myco. Yield to all. You should activate Mycosynth Gardens now. So now we can hold the Mycosynth Gardens hostage. If they go to activate it, we can then Ghost Quarter it, reducing the number of Amulet Vigors they have available. No attacks. Do you activate Mycosynth Gardens? If you do, I think we have to Ghost Quarter. Because then next turn, if they have a Lotus Field, they win, and they can't interact with a Lotus Field. So we'll go for the Mycosynth Gardens. Alright, and pass. 4 types in Yard, 8, 9, 4 short of Emrakul. Alright. Not too much I can do here. There's Crumbling Vestige, so that's 4 mana. I mean, if they have Scapeshift, Bounce Land, T-West would get you 2, 4, 5. You could go Lotus Field, Bounce Land, T, which would get you 6. You would then -3 to 3, so you shouldn't have enough. Unless you have the Titan in hand, in which case you can go Lotus Field, and probably you could go Vesuva. Go Lotus Field, Vesuva? Or does the land already have to be on field for Vesuva, I suppose? I think that might actually be the case. You could go Lotus Field, Mycosynth Gardens. Or I guess Echoing Depths for Mycosynth Gardens. Yeah, so you can go Lotus Field, Echoing Depths, Mycosynth Gardens, make Mycosynth Gardens into Amulet, play Titan and win. But if they don't have Titan in hand, they need to go T-West for Lotus Field, Bounce Land, T-West. They would then need to somehow generate additional 3 mana. So their lines are narrow here, but not impossible, or at least not unreasonable. Depths for Gardens means they only have... Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, they'd only have 5 then. 6, Gardens 5. Huh. In that case, what's their play here? I guess they would need... Even if they go for Titan... I mean, I guess if they go Lotus Field, Titan... No, so probably the best thing in hand they could go for would be Aftermath Analyst, not Titan, because they have Analyst they can win off a Lotus Field, and then... Oh, they don't have a Bouncing Yard, though. It's actually kind of interesting. This one's kind of narrow. It really depends on what's in hand. I don't think I can really map out the right line here without knowing what's in hand. Because I played Titan as well, so I'm trying to think about all the potential lines they have. Yeah, Analyst means they can win, right? Lotus Field, Cave. Oh, yeah. You're right. Lotus Field, Cave. Because then they have infinite mana. Well, I guess not. They would still need to find a bridge, but then they can cave for T-West. And they would still need a Bounce Land, though, right? Because Lotus Field gets 6. Cave 7. Sack all. Play Aftermath, activate. Yeah, they're short on Delirium. That's why I'm thinking the cave doesn't get them there. Yeah, I'm not sure they have many lines here, to be honest. And I think opponents realizing that too, that Scape Shift may have been a bit aggressive. Because unless they have the Titan in hand, like they could theoretically go bounce land, Crumbling Vestige. Okay, Lotus Field, Vestige, 8. So I imagine green, red, colorless. That way you can haste the Titan. Yep, green, colorless, red. Show me I'm right. Because then if you have Titan, you can use the red to haste, and the colorless can be used for a mirror pool. So then you can go colorless red, let's say that's 2 Echoing Depths mirror pool. I could play Titan. That's one of the annoying parts of playing against Titan is that basically I play Titan. I'm basically always playing 2 games because I'm trying to map out their lines, right? 7 green. Why 7 green? You should have went red. I'm pretty sure you should have went red. Packed. Okay. So now you need to make sure you can... Oh, okay. Well, no, what's the play here then? You have 8. You go down to 2. Splunking Gruel Turf. You have a bounce land, but now how do you bridge over to a Titan? Yeah, you need to find a way to bridge, right? So you would need a Titan. Because you were short on Delirium. 1, 2, 3. No, you'll have 4. So you'll have 4 for Delirium, but you don't have the Scape Shift. So they should have went for Cave after all. If they had gone for Cave, then they could have went for the Scape Shift and then would have had Infinite. But now I don't know what their play is here. They have 4 in hand. They pick up Mycosynth. They played a land for turns. They can't play Mycosynth. And they need to make sure they have 4 mana, 2 green for next turn, otherwise they lose. But yeah, I could play Titan. It's just, unfortunately, because I'm not a big name in the Titan community, it does not do well on YouTube, unfortunately. One of the downsides of pigeonholing myself with Eldrazi. Okay, there's the Titan. So, okay. They have Titan, which can bridge them now into the Shifting Woodland. So they should have the win. I want them to demonstrate the loop just to show that they know it. Yeah. It would do well if you won the RC. That is true. That is true. That is a factual statement. I mean, I have it built. It's literally in my closet right now. I could bring it to the RC. I more or less play it. Mirror Pool plus Woodland does it? Yeah. They have it. So I think I have no reason to continue. Shouldn't they have... Okay, no, never mind. I was about to say, I wasn't sure if they had enough mana. Well, no, they do. Because I thought for some reason, they may have been short, but no. We're just going to skip. We're just going to scoop. It's not worth it. Alright. So we're in Ghost Corridor. We can cut the Cavernous Souls, cut the Returns, cut the Gemstone. We can bring in Flute, Fade, and we could theoretically go Jailer. Vexing Bubble's also a consideration, but we're already 1 over. We can cut either Sire or Chrysalis. Chrysalis does ramp us into Mycospawn, though. Unholy It's also kind of cute. It does deal with Titan. The nice thing about Jailer is it does stop the Aftermath Analyst loops, but they can always just play around it pretty well. It just taxes them more or less 2-3 mana because they need the Besieguit to execute the loop. Sire's relatively bad here. Do we want Unholy Heat? I think Fate's probably better here. Yeah, let's run back like this. We have 2 Ghost Quarter this time. Yeah, I do think Ghost Quartering the Mycosynth Gardens was correct, though. Yeah, Paladin Titan's interesting. It's a very nuanced deck. So I feel the whole not being confident in being able to play it. It took me like reading the Titan Bible like front and back 100 times and 100 reps before I felt really confident. And now when I play against Titan, I can more or less pilot it myself. And like I know every line that the opponent can take and go through the line so that way I can disrupt them. It's why I feel like I play relatively better into Titan overall because I know how to play Titan. Especially because of Emrakul, you really do need to know how to play their deck, your opponent's deck, whether it be Titan, whether it be Goryos, etc. Downloaded the Bible so you could read it on the flight. That's smart. That's smart. But yeah, I think I'm more or less locked in for E-Ramp though. Another thing one thing I actually don't like about Titan is I feel like there has been some innovation over time, but I feel like whenever someone tries to innovate into Titan, the Titan community can be a little bit particular about it. All right. Yes, on the play for game 2. We are in game 2. This is a Chrysalis on 2. I mean, if we draw into a Myco spawn, this is pretty good. We'll keep it. It's a little bit slower than I'd like. So it goes Sprawl, Red, Temple Chrysalis. And we hope to see either a Myco spawn or a World Breaker. Myco spawn and World Breaker would be good here off the top. One's thinking hard here on their opener. Opponent is saying they don't know if it's a keep. That's what I'm reading here. I wonder if it could be like, I don't know, amulet, land, no bounce. That is a possibility. I do feel like my opponent might not be 1000% confident on Titan based on the play patterns from last match or last game. So, I mean, the mulligan or opening hand analysis is kind of hard for Titan. I feel like you do have to take a lot of speculative keeps, which is not what a lot of people are comfortable with. So, opponent does mulligan at a 6. Being told Hustler is a good player, just maybe new to Titan. Yeah, a lot of people are picking up Titan for good reason. I'm actually kind of hoping that more people pick up Titan, because I'm of the opinion that if Titan was played as much as it should be, if it's played as much as it should be, then something from Titan will get banned. I think that is factual. If Titan was played as much as it should be based on its win percent and the events that it wins, something from Titan would be banned. And I kind of want that to happen. Because Titan's kind of ridiculous. Alright, let's go... Almost kind of want to go Rumble. Almost want to go Rumble. We're on the play. So if we go Rumble Rumble, we'll end up with 3, 4, 5. You know what? I kind of like that idea. So let's go Misty Rainforest and fetch. I'm going to fire off Rumble number 1. I guess I could have held off on the fetch, to be honest. There's a Breaker. Wish I had that fade. And then Rumble number 2. There's the Myco spawn. There's also Ice Till. But this gets me a kicked Myco next turn. Yeah, so this is what I kind of wanted here, and I think this is correct, because now we can go kick Myco Ghost Quarter again. And if we can draw into a Ice Till, then we're set. Otherwise, we have World Breaker to get rid of the Amulet the following turn, I think. Yeah, this looks appealing. And I can't Besage my forest. We're good there. They could be playing Dismember, so they could Dismember a spawn. That would be a bit rough, admittedly. Simic Growth, so that's the Spelunking, which makes the Ghost Quarter worse. Damn. Yeah, that's kind of rough. At least we get rid of the Simic Growth. So that's good news. Oh no, no Spelunking, just Rumble. Okay, that's fine. So there's Spelunking, there's Besaju. Imagine you pick up Spelunking, right? But then we're going to set you back. Yeah, this is actually pretty solid. Because by setting them back on the Simic Growth Chamber, I feel like they should have probably picked up the Simic Growth, right? Choose Spelunking, yep. Draw Flute. Ooh. Now that's kind of interesting. Well, regardless, we're going to kick Myco. So, I have a few interesting choices here now. So, if they have another bounce land, they can play the Spelunking, which is an issue, right? We could go... I guess we could just go Ghost Quarter. I think Ghost Quarter is probably correct because they don't have the Spelunking yet. If they play the bounce land, then we can just Ghost Quarter the bounce land. So yeah, I think we go Ghost Quarter here. Yes. Go Ghost Quarter. Hold. The other thought was to go for a Soul Land to then tuck World Breaker, Flute, name, Spelunking, but I think this is correct. Because the only way out they should have now is a Lotus Field. 5 types in yard. Next turn we can World Break the Amulet of Vigor. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Urza Cave. They lack green, which is important. A second World Breaker, well, that's pretty nice. We'll go Verdant Catacomb fetch. And we will shock in Stomping Ground. So we'll get rid of the Amulet, and Bone Scoops it up. All right, perfect. So yeah, definitely the double Rumble was the play after all. So we're gonna want the Gemstone back, cut the Rumble, and run it back. Yeah, I think they did misplay by not picking up the bounce land. I think they should have picked up the bounce land rather than the cave, because by doing so, it opened them up to Myco spawn. Which they did know I had, because I think, no, did I pull Myco spawn? No, I pulled a Soul Land? I forget what I pulled. if I pulled Mega Spawn or a Soul Land. Let's see. What did I pull? I did choose Mega Spawn. Yeah. So they knew I had the spawn, so I feel like, yeah, picking up the bounce land I think was correct there. Because it opened them up to that. So yeah, I think that was a mistake on their part. Because if they had picked up the bounce land, then they would have still had the mana for Spelunking the following turn, since they had the spawn on board. Oh, this hand's weird. We'll keep it. Reveal Devourer. Saga. And Amulet? Yeah, that's a problem. Trigger. Ice Till, Sprawl. I think just grabbing the forest might be correct, so we can go Lab, Tuck, Impulse, Land, Sprawl. And then we either hold up the K command, we go Rumble, but right now this is kind of rough. I'll grab the forest. We'll draw. So Lab, Imprint, Talisman, and pass. And pass. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I'm just dead. That's a turn 2 Titan win. Like, short of me having Flute in hand and holding up Flute, I cannot do anything. Yep, that's... There is nothing I can do about that. Because, yeah, you just go Lotus Field, Mirror Pool, and then from there, you just go off. Brutal. Brutal. Show me... there's possibility that they have key cards in hand, so show me it before I concede, and then I'll concede. I mean, Mirror Pool, Bounce Land, Mirror Pool, Lotus Field will do it. And then you can go Echoing Depths, Mirror Pool. Opponent's thinking hard here, which is making me think that maybe they have a key piece in hand. I mean, at the very least, they have a Hasty Titan. And at the very least, they're going to Besage You my land, which means I'm more or less set back. Huh. I mean, I don't... Even if they're missing a key piece, I think I lose. Like, even if they don't get an OTK. They're thinking pretty hard here. Maybe just trying to choose between Lotus Field and a Bounce Land. Because if Lotus Field's in hand, you pull Bounce Land, Mirror Pool. If Mirror Pool's in hand, though, then you just go, Crumbling Vestige and a Hainweir, call it a day. Then you go Bounce Land, Besage You, pick up Besage You my... Okay, there's Lotus Field, Mirror Pool. Yep, okay. I'll make sure that you actually do this correctly. And once you make a copy of Titan, I will concede. Yep, there you go. Then Mirror Pool target Titan before the Lotus Field trigger, and we'll concede at this point. Alright. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. That is just what Titan does sometimes. So that will be a 2-3 record at the end of 5. Admittedly, we definitely could have gotten a better result if I made fewer mistakes in Game 3 against Red Belcher, and then Game 1 against Basking Broodscale. Otherwise, solid wins against Prowess, solid wins against Goryos, a solid win against Titan in Game 2. So overall, relatively happy with the direction the deck's going. I'm still wondering if I want to trim a Trinisphere for something additional in the sideboard, but I feel like the main deck is more or less solid. I think the only thing that I might consider changing is trimming one Emrakul for an Ugin. A, it adds an additional type for Emrakul, but B is also just an absolute house against decks like Blink, which are rising in meta share, so that is something to consider. But with that being said, that there will be the end of tonight's YouTube video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button, comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback, be much appreciated. For as much that I hope you all learn from me and both my successes and failures, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached a point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button as we continue to grow this channel. However, if you do want to watch these videos recorded live over on Twitch, you can do so Mondays through Thursdays starting at 10 p.m. CST and Fridays through Sundays at 8 p.m. CST, though I will note this upcoming Sunday I will be live at 10 p.m. CST instead of 8. Otherwise, you can head over to my Patreon where you can watch these videos early and ad-free, and you can support me monetarily as well. With that being said though, folks, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!